Okay, we're live.
Okay. Good. Well, welcome all. This is make sure my Zoom is on. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome. This is the regular meeting, February 21st, 2024 of the Town of New Canaan Police Commission. First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting, which was January 17th. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes?
None here.
Yeah, I had none either. Mr. Cava? No. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
All right. Should give a second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, they were approved unanimously. Chief, let's have the monthly reports for the department for January.
Sure. Yep. First one is year-to-date budget report. We are on track, currently about 58% overall. Overtime lines are the only ones that are tracking a little high. But we are still about 86%. Animal budgets are on track. And you can see, just want to note the control budgets. There's two budgets, the animal control and dog fund. In the next fiscal year, those will be combined.
Right.
Monthly staffing report seems to be trending better for January. We're at 59% work shift, whereas previous we were at 67%, 84%, 65%, dating back to September. So hopefully that's a trend in the right direction for us. But January tends to be a little, as far as that, less time off out of the holiday. We will see that continue.
Okay.
Monthly statistics, nothing nothing out of the ordinary. All seems tracking well. I don't know if you have questions on the statistics. Here.
No, I'm okay.
Extra duty aging, we are doing very well in that. However, is Tiger on yet?
Yeah.
Tiger, it looks like Tinker Excavating is at least 56,000 due over 120 days. They're way behind on some of their bills, so reach out to them.
Yeah, there might be a discrepancy between them and Aquarian. But I'll reach out to Tinker tomorrow and
Okay.
talk to him about it.
Yeah, Burns tightened up, so they're in good shape.
Okay. All right, so it's just Tinker?
Yeah, Tinker was the biggest one.
Okay.
Like I said, those were over 120 days, so it's getting late on those.
Yeah, anything past 90, I'm not comfortable with, so I'll talk to them.
False alarm, seems like we're in good shape there, better than we have been in many, many years. Total outstanding is less than 16. A lot of those are just, looks like they're some old ones that probably at this point be written off. Some of them are probably up from estates or as far as current. We're and that's it for monthly reports.
Great, thank you. Item B, solar RFB installation on Gower Road. Tiger, is that yours?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I went
too
that
early.
one. Yeah, sorry, Tiger. A, caffeine and carburetors, road closure request. Who's addressing that?
Hi, everyone.
Should stay.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm Claire Drexler. I'm here representing Caffeine and Carburetors on behalf of Doug Zumbach. And we're here to request approval from the commission in terms of closure of the roads on May 19th in town for Caffeine and Carburetors. And the other thing I know Doug wanted me to put on your radar, have approval from Park and Rec to do an event in Waveney Park on October 20th.
Very good. And you know the procedure by now, for sure. Going through Tucker and making sure that all the appropriate forms are filled out, insurance and all the other details,
Yes.
right? Any comments on this? Commissioners?
Tucker,
or
are you
any
good with
comments?
that date, the May 19th?
I am. Claire and I spoke a little while ago, and the May 19th show works nicely along with the October show in Waveney.
And this still has to go through special events though?
It
correct?
does, correct.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Any other comments from the general public?
In town on Pine and Elm Street.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Okay, any other discussion from the commissioners? I'm okay with this. You all are as well. Can I have a motion to approve the May 19th closures?
So moved.
Second? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Thank
Aye.
you. Now to B, the solar installations on Gower Road. Tiger, thank you.
Thank you very much. Tiger Man, Director of Public Works. We received this request from the school resource officer, Officer Gibson, as well as the principal at South School, Matt Kazak. We already have an existing rapid rectangular flashing beacon at the mid-block crosswalk that leads from the playground across to the walkway that leads to Douglas Road. This is the crosswalk that comes across Gower Road at the driveway entrance to South School. We had a problem with residents or motorists parking on the crosswalk and in the area of the crosswalk. We increased the signage, put some no parking signs out to help with enforcement. The principal came back and thanked us for that, but said that the problem still is that cars are not stopping for kids as they want to try to come through the crosswalk. And this is probably the major artery for walkers to South School, is to come down Gower Road and cross this intersection. So the thought is that he asked for an existing for another rapid rectangular flashing beacon at this location to then help with the idea that people would stop, or promote the stopping. They have a 92% adherence rate, which is probably the best traffic calming measure we have. I reached out to our traffic consultants, both Hardesty and Hanover and Fuss and O'Neill, asked them about the separation distance between the two. Right now it's 425 feet between the two locations. And they said according to the MUTCD, there is no minimum requirement between installations for a rapid rectangular flashing beacon, and they had no concerns with the additional installation. So it comes back to the commission for approval. And then should that happen, we've received a quote from East Coast Sign for the unit, and we will bring it to the Board of Selectmen for approval and move forward. Pending.
Okay. Is that at the top of the rise?
It's
That's
not at the
parking?
top of the rise. No, the rise is a little bit further along. The sight lines are adequate, both sides.
Okay.
Looking east and west from this location, really comes down to the fact that people are just not stopping. The kids might be standing there at the crosswalk, and people are just not stopping. We want to try to, increase the conspicuity of the intersection itself, make it a little bit more conspicuous, and hopefully we'll get some more adherence and then allow the kids to cross safely. But they brought it to our attention. They're concerned with with this area. they've reached out to their population as far as notifying the parents to, to be aware of it, to ask them to park in different locations, drive slowly, things of that nature. But they think it's the overall driving population and not necessarily people coming to South School that's causing.
Sure.
Excuse me. So.
Okay, any other commissioners, other thoughts here?
Did you say that Officer Gibson
Shane,
going
yeah,
in this request?
yep,
Yeah, Officer Gibson and the South School principal, Matt Kazak.
okay, good enough for me. Shakeva, thoughts?
I think it's a good idea to keep.
Okay. All right, any other
Tiger, I
discussion?
take it you were supportive of this as well?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, any other comments from the public on this? No, all right, hearing none. Motion to approve this? Name a motion to approve.
Move.
Okay, and a second? Hearing it. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, that's
Aye.
done.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Item C. The spring event, are we still on for that,
No, that's gonna be
Jennifer?
March.
Okay, so let's just take that off then. Item D, Special Olympics, the torch run. Who's to address that?
That would be
I
me.
want to hand that over to Kelly Coughlin.
Hi, Kelly. Good to see
Good
you.
afternoon. You too.
Great afternoon. What's up?
So I am, for those who don't know me, Officer Kelly Coughlin for Town of New Canaan. I am the team leader for our department for Special Olympics Connecticut and the events that we get involved in. So we are going to be participating in what's called the Special Olympics Law Enforcement Torch Run this May. It's an event that we have long participated in before I was even an officer. And we were fortunate to host a portion of the run last year. And we are looking to host a portion of the run in New Canaan again this year. Just to give a little bit of history, it's something that's been going on since 1986. Special Olympics has had law enforcement officers from the entire country participate in this event at different points in the year. And for the state of Connecticut, the event this year is running around the weekend of May 31st into early June. And our portion of the run would be on Friday, May 31st. And our leg is part of the run that goes from Greenwich to Fairfield. And basically what happens is law enforcement officers from all over the state have different legs of the run. There's a Flame of Hope, which is a live torch that officers carry and run throughout the state to be passed from town to town as a part of a fundraiser for Special Olympics programming for those throughout the state of Connecticut who benefit from their programs and athletic facilities that they have. So we are going to be hosting a portion of the run through New Canaan, and I'm looking to utilize the area on South Avenue between Elm Street and Morse Court to close off between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Friday, May 31st. The idea would be that we would kick off the leg of our run from there. So you have our group of officers that are running. They would start from there, and we would start our run through New Canaan down South Avenue, like we did last year, where we run to Darien to pass off the torch. And the idea to block off this section would be to, one, be able to draw awareness in the community so people could stop by, witness the run starting, and also we could do some fundraising and have people speak to members of our department about the event.
Great, and what time of the day would that be? Or is it?
So I'm coordinating with Special Olympics to find out when our run would kick off exactly. They said it should be similar to last year, which was 1 p.m. So I was hoping that if we could do a 4-hour block between 10 and 2, that would give us time to have people come by and also time to set up and clean up around the time of the run.
Very good. Excellent. Well, thank you for taking this on. Any other comments, commissioners? Chief, anything else?
No, it's, this is a great thing that Kelly's
Yeah.
brought to our town, our department, that for many years, we participated in it, but we went down to Darien and so for her to get this brought up in Canaan, Kelly, if you want to just talk about kind of what we had to do to get that, we had to do some considerable fundraising and show some skin in the game so we could get it to have that leg up here. So Kelly, tell them what we had to do for that.
Sure. So since I've started, the run typically would go down the Post Road or Route 1, starting in Greenwich all the way to Fairfield, since it was a straight shot and covered many of the major towns, Greenwich, Stamford, Darien. But that obviously doesn't pass through New Canaan. So we would have to have our officers that participated drive down to New Canaan. We would do the run with Darien and run through Darien, then passing off the torch to Norwalk. So we always had a good showing in doing so. We always did a good job fundraising for the event. But unfortunately, a lot of people in New Canaan might not have been aware of it or didn't get to see the run in action since it wasn't coming through New Canaan. So last year I spoke with Lisa Carlone, who's one of the directors of Special Olympics Connecticut, specifically in charge of the law enforcement torch run. And I asked her if we would be able to adjust the route so that we could host a portion of it. And she said that because of our good participation over many years, we had hosted part of it a long time ago. And because we did have good participation in fundraising, she was willing to adjust the route. So basically the change is that Greenwich will run to Stamford, and instead of Stamford passing off to Darien, they're going to pick up and drive over to New Canaan, so we can almost start a new portion of the leg for us to be able to run through New Canaan down South Avenue and then pass off the torch to Darien at the border on South Ave.
Great, very good.
It's a great,
Okay.
It's a great day too, because when you run by Saks in the South School area, that all the kids come out and participate in it too. It's a pretty special day.
Terrific. All right, so again, that's May 31st, Kelly,
What was the date?
Yes,
May 31st. And it would be in the area of Morse Court and South Avenue, right, between Elm and Morse Court on South.
yes,
And the hours would be from 10 to 2.
yes,
Great. And you're gonna run this, of course, through Town Hall as well, right? With Tucker. Tucker, you
yes.
still
I
on?
talked.
Yeah. I just don't see Tucker.
I think she
Okay,
I
great.
did previously talk to Tucker and Laura Budd about it, and they said that there were no conflicts as of this time.
Awesome. All right, great. Can I have a motion then to approve this?
Don't move.
All right, second. All those in favor? Aye. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, E, Conrad Road traffic discussion, update from Tiger.
Thank you again.
Thanks, Tiger.
No, it's no problem. So we have our consultant Hardesty in Hanover working on 2 separate issues at Conrad. One is the Conrad Gerties intersection with the traffic signal, and the other is the potential installation of a mini roundabout in the area. They were able to finish their intersection study at South Avenue and Gerties itself. They determined that the intersection as you head westbound, specifically in the morning, functions at a level of service F. Just so you understand, for traffic signals, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, and that range, right? So F being the worst, A being the best. And then in the afternoon, it functions at a D. The overall service, the average service for the intersection itself is at an E. They looked at the timing. They talked to the DOT originally. The DOT had some problems with the signal, got those repaired. Then we're able to look at the functioning of the signal and came up with these findings. Then they did what was called a 5-year projection. Basically, they plan out 5 years, determine what the traffic would be, and plan according to that. And they came up with the fact that if they took 9 seconds off of one of the legs, basically the northbound leg on South Avenue, and gave it to Gertie's, it would raise Gertie's from an F to a D, which is actually probably what they like. You like to see them at a C or a D. You know, very rarely are they ever at an A. Most of the time they're functioning at a C or a D. So we'd be able to get it at a D at that point in time, and the queuing lengths on Gertie's would reduce from 700 feet to somewhere on the order of below 500 feet, which I think would almost put us before the intersection of Conrad Road and then prevent some people from kind of shooting up Conrad Road. Excuse me. And then overall, there would be a savings of somewhere on the order of 60 seconds per person traveling through that intersection. So the overall travel, as far as delay, would be reduced overall. So the next step for that is for us to present our findings to the DOT traffic and see if they will take our recommendation. There might need to be a recommendation from the LTA, Police Commission, to say if you're in favor of the changes. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We need to take these findings now, get to a kickoff meeting with them, and then as we go forward, they might need something from the LTA to say, hey, is your local traffic authority in favor of it? And then you give us a memo saying, hopefully you say yes, and then we can get the changes made and see some positive changes at that intersection. But that would be the next step for that. I'd like to meet with them first, see what their requirements are, and then we can come back to you, unless you don't want us to go forward with it. And then as far as the intersection itself, the new MUTCD came out, and then the new federal highway guidelines on roundabouts for 2024 came out. They're looking at their design and analyzing that to see if it fits with both of the new regulations. We believe it will. And then they're going to come forward with a couple of different options and then some renderings. And then we'll be able to present to you hopefully next month with those ideas, and then show you exactly where it is, and then how the intersection itself would function, and we can then answer questions and answer questions from the residents at that point as well. As I mentioned, no decisions are, we're not asking for a decision today. We're not asking for a decision next month. This is still a process as we go forward. But I think now that we'll have some sketches and we'll have some renderings, we'll actually have something to talk about, a little bit deeper, and then go, hopefully address some concerns and then move forward from there. But that's it's a lot of positive movement over the past couple of months. I know it was slow to take off. They were quite busy and understaffed. They hired, I won't say a new engineer, but a very experienced one. They were able to steal from another company, and now they're moving forward quite rapidly through the projects that we have. So I'm happy now. But I'm happy to take any questions that you might have, and then I'd look forward to coming back with Hardesty and Hanover next month.
Okay, commissioners, any questions? We got to solve for this F, right? But even solving for a D and E doesn't sound like a great idea. But like you said, a CD is about all you're going to get out of any.
The majority of the section, the majority of the intersections are at a C or a D. We're not going to be able to solve for anything further. I think that at that point in time, just so you understand, there's a commensurate drop in the other service legs, right? So while some of the other service legs are that service value doesn't change, one of the legs, by taking 9 seconds away, actually drops that from a B to a C. They're not going to allow an additional drop to a D to give us some additional time. So I think that they were trying to give us something that would work for us, bring us up to what would the DOT would be considered an acceptable level, and then not drop their legs out of what they would consider an acceptable level. Trying to make sure that we balance it between the two. I think it's a worthy, it's something that we should pursue, and it can be handled strictly by timing of the cabinet. It's not nothing else has to happen in the intersection for it to happen. Someone just has to go in and reprogram the cabinet itself. Very minimal amount of work, very minimal cost. We just need their approval.
Okay, and there's turning lanes on South Avenue, right, going north and south, right?
That's correct.
But would a turning lane help at all on Gower? Or is the traffic, as I saw it, was all going pretty straight across and getting right back on the Merritt?
Right,
Right.
yeah, if we were, right now, Gertie's is a left through right.
Yep.
To try to put an additional turning lane in, I don't know if there would be any savings there. You know, most of the people are not turning right, so right to run
Right.
right, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I'll ask them though. That'll be a good question for, to move forward and see if they thought that there might be, but they did not suggest it in their study.
Right. I think as I observed it, it was pretty much the traffic's going straight across south and going straight back onto the Merritt Parkway
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Especially in the morning, you know.
in the morning.
Other times
Yeah.
you might have different movements, but specifically in the morning, and they're just going straight across the intersection.
Okay. All right. So then you're going to come back to us on the roundabout as well. So
Yeah, like I said, they're putting together some sketches, and I asked for some renderings so we could, you could visualize it. You just don't see something on paper. And then I'd
Yeah.
like to go back next month and bring it fully, right? We're very close, but I don't, I didn't feel we were ready for them to be in front of you today. And I'd like to give you some advanced read and just, put it out to the community as well before we meet. So I'm not bringing it out on the first night, so to speak.
Okay. And could we just have at some point, maybe just have cones put out so we can see it? You know, how it would physically be.
The size of it?
Before happens. Yeah.
Yeah, we could put we could size the roundabout itself with cones, place it out there.
Yeah.
Right now we're looking at just it's 30 feet. So normally they're around 50 or so. So we're looking at a much scaled down version. So it fits inside the pavement, or very close to fitting inside the pavement, definitely fits inside the right of way. But yeah, we'll get you their report, we'll get you the renderings, and then we'll tell you, okay, we staked it. Not staked it, we coned it, and here it is, and then you can see it before the next meeting, as can the residents.
Right. Good. And then what would be in the center? Anything in the center?
It's a slightly raised median. We were looking at treating with brick and with cobbles, say a Belgian block. Same thing with the splitter islands to try to make it a little bit nicer, and then deter anyone from traveling over it. It would allow a large truck or a bus that had to traverse over it, so it would be traversable.
Right. Makes the turn. Right.
But by the same token, it would make the car go around, right?
Got it. Commissioners, any other comments here?
None here.
I think we're all encouraging you to do both, right?
Oh, I'm
Or-
sorry. Tiger, do
Yeah.
you meet with the people on the street over there to go over the drawings? I mean, is there like a community meeting?
We can, yeah.
next time?
It really comes down to how you'd like to handle that part. I'd like to give them the information when I have it in its final form. Then I was going to present it to the residents there so that they could digest it before the next commission meeting. But I'm happy to meet with them during that time to walk through it with them as well.
We'll definitely have community.
Yeah, so
We don't know what's-
Oh,
Right.
no, I wasn't implying that.
No,
Just wanted to-
we will definitely get
right. It's just a question of whether or not you'd like to have the commission meeting and then community, or community before commission. However way you like to do, we'll schedule. John and I and Andrew and Joe will schedule up
We
whatever
don't
you
even have
want.
a special meeting for that because it's we
Yeah.
obviously get a lot
That's fine.
of the time to it, but that's some months out anyways.
Yeah.
Tiger,
I'm
I
o-
don't mind going on a little field trip like the way we did when we had the sidewalk issues on Elm Street, just to give us like a visual, like, walking around that street. I'm always.
That
up
would
for it.
probably be a good idea. I think we could do, we could have a meeting, a regular commission meeting, and then have one out in the field. I'll get Hardesty and Hanover to come out and talk to us as well, and we can cone it so you can see it. We can they can walk through their ideas as to how to handle the intersection. And then you can get a feel for, boots on the ground, so to speak.
Sure. And as long, and
More than
also
two, it
invite
has
the-
to be a meeting.
Right. You would have to post
Maybe
it
he'll
as
be
a meeting.
available.
That's what we did on Elm Street. Exactly.
we did, that's right. And we had the public come on Elm Street as well, so that worked pretty well, I thought. With additional input. Any comments from the public here? From Conrad?
Can I just jump in real quick, Commissioner? I just want to give.
Oh,
the
sure.
update as well.
Sure, Deputy
I
Chief.
don't know if
Yep.
we had discussed it since they were installed. We did have a solar powered speed sign installed to catch the eastbound traffic to address the afternoon speed problem we recognized. And
Right.
that has been in place, but admittedly, we had some lack of sun, which I think burnt out the battery. So there was a lot of days and our Arctic winter where we didn't have much sun. So we haven't gotten too many days of it in operation, but it is back up in operation. We switched batteries. Now it's in operation. Have had some test stories from the residents that they're happy with that. We also it was either put up today or will be in short order, another sign facing the other way to catch.
Okay, and how were the results? How were the
Also-
results from that when you analyzed the speeds?
We haven't been able to yet because we just got the new batteries in.
Okay,
So, yeah, it hasn't had enough time to really. However, like I said, we will have the other sign there. So hopefully by the time we have this meeting, we'll have some more data.
got it.
Yeah, we had about 14 days without sun and they actually, it affected a lot of our solar installations, that one in particular as well. So, but now we seem to be a little better off. So we'll get a little bit more data. And as Andrew mentioned, one more speed sentry came in, so we'll get that up. If it wasn't up today, we'll get it up by the end of the weekend. And then we'll have data going both ways.
That's great, thank you. Okay, back to the public here. Conrad Road people or Gower Road people? Any thoughts, comments? Okay, hearing none. All right, so,
Somebody-
Paul, hold on.
Hi, Mariana Vuceric, you all know me.
oh,
from
thanks.
Conrad
Yeah,
Road.
I didn't see you come up to it didn't show you on
Come
the
up?
camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was
thanks.
good. You see me? Okay.
Now I see you, yeah,
S-
thank you.
Perfect. So I wanted to share my findings with you. I know it's anecdotal, but I still wanted to do. I count cars daily from my Ring camera. And I don't know, are you aware that we have virtual closure on account, right? Since the closure stayed, Google still didn't remove the closure. So Google and Waze don't send us additional cars. We have our daily cut through. The numbers went down to 800 cars per day, which is comparing to 3,000 cars a day, what we had in just one direction. Very big difference. Also researched a little bit about how to keep that. Like, can we somehow do something not to send majority of the cars to avoid the light through the residential street where the people walk and kids walk to school. This is one behind me that walks daily to school.
Right.
And it says that our town can actually request something like, please don't use this route as a suggestion because you put a lot of pedestrians, kids walking to school. So that could be also an option to do that, to reach out, because if we dropped 3,000 to 800 in both direction and 3,000 was just in one direction, which is actually our prior number in a study that study shows that we had 700 and something. And the whole thing changed in 2020 when the rates changed and started sending calls. So that's one of the options. The second finding is as soon as that sentry is down and doesn't work, the speed definitely goes up. People, some do care, majority don't, but again, it impacts. But is there anything else that we can get to slow the cars down? Because I can tell you the cars, the registration numbers, the speed that they go, my Ring camera actually shoots to that sign. I can share videos. I was even thinking to put the live camera. You know, you want to see your speed? Just check it out. Look, it's from my house and it shows you driving 49 and you're a high school kid with a black Ford truck. Like I mean, those are the findings. I thought those actually like can be enforceable.
Not right now.
No, too bad. Only public shaming. Okay.
Since you did share that info with me, we have put it on our list of enforcement areas
Okay.
with that designated time description of a possible cause.
Oh, wow.
So they did make a stop the other day, but I don't think.
Okay. I mean, we have a couple of them. I can tell you from time 2:35 to 2:45, it's like 6, 7 cars from high school coming, shooting down 49, 46, 52. Like I have it all on video. So but that's not only thing that happened. That's just one segment of what happens. I mean, that sign is in my driveway. I see it all. I hear it all and I see it all. So and my Ring camera is actually videotaping. So depends on the angle of the sun. Sometimes you can see the speed. Sometimes you have to clean it up, this video, but it's very visible. So, and trust me, our parents speed like regular, like we have regular people who cut through Conrad and go out 30s and they do speed. So
Yeah,
that's our public awareness.
Okay, so it seems as though it's, we could time it a little better too. When school gets out, it's probably the same 5 or 6 characters that are coming
yeah.
down. I don't, they
Yes.
get out of school at 2:30, 2:35, 2:40, they're coming through your neighborhood. All right.
Yeah, and then it again picks up around 4:45 when people start coming from work.
Yeah.
Or leaving the town when they work in a town and leave.
Okay, all right, I'm sure Deputy Chief Walsh will take a look at that. Also on that Waze request, I think we'll look into that as well. If you could talk to Deputy Chief Walsh on that. And maybe
Okay,
we can
because
attack
closure is
that.
still on, the virtual closure is still on Google Maps and Waze.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Now,
No, don't touch it now. When they lift it, then you touch it. Yes, I agree on that. I agree on that part. Because we definitely dropped to 800 cars per day. I am counting every day, trying to count like every month, at least 2 weeks. So
right.
it takes a lot of time. Like every hour you need to go and scroll all your videos. And trust me, it takes a lot of time. Next question for Tiger. When you do all these studies, do anyone thinks about safety throughout the whole stretch, or we are just concerned about the intersection?
Sorry, you're
What?
talking at Gertie's and at Conrad and Whiffletree?
Yes, the whole stretch of the
Specifically?
Conrad Street, because what I hear, it's always about just the corner. Our 4 houses that are in the middle of the street are hit with speed, 45, 48 daily. We need some measures there to slow down those cars. Besides the flashing sign, we all know who cares about the sign, who doesn't, they know there is no repercussions, so they just shoot up and down, still with the sign or no sign.
Well, they have been looking at the entire area, so it's not just the intersection itself. We've spoken about, the areas in between, and there is very little that we can do in between the intersection with Whiffle and the intersection of South Avenue. We at present, we're not looking at putting in a speed hump or anything like that. That's, the others would be a chicane or a narrowing, things of that nature that quite possibly we could look at changes the nature of the street a little bit. But they, Hardesty and Hanover are looking at the entire area, not just necessarily one, aspect of it.
And Tiger, are you looking at sidewalks there too, from south to Whiffletree on one side?
There is the thought, yeah, to do
That would
that.
tighten it up as well, right?
It also gives it a visual feel. If there's that
Visual,
other things in the
right.
right of way, it tends to slow people down a little bit.
Right.
I don't know if you were able to see Jeff Speck's discussion when he came into town. But he had some ideas as well as either edge striping. Edge striping was one that he thought was a very good idea as well. But yeah, there is a conversation being had about whether or not to put in sidewalks on. It would be on Conrad and extend down Whiffle to connect with the extent on Whiffle as well. That would probably at present we don't have monies in the budget for that. Right now, my budget has monies for trying to improve the existing sidewalks on Putnam. right
Okay.
now, and then the thought is to then come from Putnam down Whiffletree, Danvers, and Butler, and then get to Conrad as well. It's a
Sure.
it's a sizable amount of money to do all of it in one piece. How about that?
Sure. Okay. Any other thoughts on this at the moment? I think we know where we're heading on this.
Sidewalks, I have videos of people jumping on my front lawn to avoid the cars. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll
So
look
many
at,
pedestrians and so much traffic. That's what I'm trying to say. Something needs to be done to slow down the vehicles.
okay. I think we'll do, and I'll talk with Tiger offline here too, is possibly
Thank you.
speeding that up a little and sidewalks from south down towards Whiffletree. Well, but we'll, that's all on the table. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Evening, Tiger, how you
Good.
doing? I live on Conrad also. So you just mentioned the
Would you
chicanes,
just say your
so
name?
Bart Cod on Conrad Road. So is there evidence that some narrowing could slow some of the cars down? I know you guys are, speed humps are out with chicanes. Is there evidence that they could help?
It's a proven traffic measure. Yes, we haven't studied it, say, to see what would happen on Conrad. Conrad's already a little bit narrow as it is. But we haven't looked at that specific measure on Conrad, but I can ask our consultant to take a look at that. It is a proven traffic calming measure. It's just, that's why I was putting it out there as a suggestion.
And so, I don't know if the commission is kind of aware really of the Whiffletree intersection. So the way it currently is, there's a permanent stop sign at Whiffletree, and then there's 2 temporary stop signs that the police department put up. So all the cars that are coming up and down that street are at the very least slowing down, and most of them are stopping. If a rotary gets installed, it's free flowing now. Everything's a yield, so no one's stopping at an intersection. So I'm kind of curious what the consultants would think that's doing for the street. It's not going to slow the traffic down between Whiffletree and South Avenue. It's probably not going to reduce any cars or prevent them from coming up the street or avoiding it. So what is it doing? It's going to cost a lot of money. What do they think it's going to do?
Their feeling is that it will, A, reduce traffic, and B, slow down speeds, and 3, make the intersection at Whiffle and Conrad safer, because right now, one of the concerns we had, or the original concern we had received, was the intersection safety at Whiffle and Conrad. But we can certainly ask them to address that when we meet with them later.
Okay.
Right, and I think
My
we
final thought,
go ahead, sir.
my final thought is, so the speed sentry on our street was purchased by the police department or Public Works? Or both? Okay, so on Mansfield, there's 4 speed sentries between the New Canaan line and Post Road. And I guess they're permanent installations. I've never seen them out. They're always on. There's a big silver box there. So I don't know if it's a bigger battery or whatever it might be, but it's a solar powered sentry. So the sentry in front of my house is on less than the old one that wasn't solar powered. So, so if our country is depending on solar power in the future, we're in trouble, because this thing's out most of the time when we have no sun. Anyway, that's just my commentary. Like I said, it works, fewer days than the old one, but.
Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts? Okay.
Renee Cod,
Thank
also
you.
Conrad Road. Hi. So I'm
Hi.
just wondering, Tiger, with the rotary, we're talking about the safety of that intersection. Are we talking about pedestrian or vehicle?
Both, but right now we had a problem with vehicles not understanding who had the right of way, not necessarily adhering to the stop sign that said Whiffletree. The intersection is quite wide, as you know.
So the question is, when and if we had sidewalks from south down to Whiffletree, how would we take care of pedestrian safety through that being thought of when that's being rendered, or is that going to have to, something that has to be fixed if you put the circle in cars and then we have pedestrians?
The only issue there is whether or not we have spaces inside the splitter islands to allow pedestrians to pass through. So if pedestrian safety, crossing safety was a concern at the intersection, then yes, we would put in areas for pedestrian crossings at the splitter islands. At present, that the idea of the sidewalk would be where it would be on the northern side of Conrad as you come around from Whiffletree heading up, wouldn't be on both sides of the street. We very rarely have sidewalks on both sides of the street, even in the Putnam area. There's most of the time it's only on one side of the street, one side or the other.
Right,
But
so
the
when
thought
you get
is
to
to
the
have
bottom,
it.
Well, look, when
bottom
we,
of, you get to the bottom of Conrad as you're about to go across to the Whiffletree sidewalks, how do you ensure the safety of people that part getting to Whiffletree while there are cars in a continuous circle in Rotary that don't have to stop?
They don't travel, the pedestrians don't travel through the roundabout. They travel outside the roundabout through the splitter island, or past the splitter island would be the crosswalks. They wouldn't be inside of it. So the
I guess
cars,
we need to see I guess we need to see the renderings, but I would just ask that you keep in mind that if we do get sidewalks, that we'd like it to be pedestrian safe.
pedestrian safety is always paramount in our minds. So yes, that's being considered.
great,
Thanks.
thank you. All right, item F, Chief, budget review.
Yes, anybody from town council? Because we invited our town council liaisons to this meeting tonight. We didn't get a response back from them, but I can reach out to them and schedule another meeting to go through the budget with them. But so far, we've presented to Board of Selectmen and to the Board of Finance, and everything seems to be going very well for us. We've gotten about all positive feedback from all of the boards. Got no indication that anything's been cut. So they're looking good. And that's with an 8% increase for budget, which is astounding. Today's day and age, we're typically trying to get to around the 3% increase, but
Right.
that's
As
largely
long as-
largely due to the 3 new officers for the SRO
right.
positions, which is being explained in detail during our budget review. So it's all been very positive, very supportive. So looking good. Looking forward to presenting to town council. We're going to attend the Board of Selectmen's Board of Finance's final review. Hopefully, I've gotten no indication that anything's going to get cut, but if I do, we'll let you know. But once that passes Board of Finance, goes to town council, I think March 12th.
Great, okay. And just so that other people listening in, the commission is hearing or interviewing a number of candidates next Tuesday for the positions that are going to be created and are open. So we're moving forward as a unit here to fill those positions. Okay. H, probationary period complete for Lieutenant Latourette.
What about G, general order revision review?
Oh, God, I gotta put my glasses on. I'm sorry, guys. G, general order review. Yes, revisions.
I don't know if you had a chance to review them all. I won't read out all the changes. They're basically, we removed that less than lethal system called the Bolo Wrap. It was sort of a Batman type system that never was really found to be useful. Wasn't. We're stopping using it. Yeah, it's.
Did we ever really use it? I mean,
we never deployed it on anyone. No,
Yeah.
it was kind of a
goofy,
interesting concept. So these general order revisions are all the basically all the general orders that had mentioned it. The bolo wrap general order, course. And then a couple of the general order revisions were just to update them to current terminology, current accreditation standards and whatnot.
Got it. Okay. Commissioners, any comments there?
I reviewed them. I didn't see anything objectionable.
Okay, good. Jakeba, anything? Always fine. Okay, then let's have a motion to approve the general order revisions, please.
Move to.
Yeah. Yeah.
approve the General order revisions that have been presented.
Today, correct. Second. And all those in favor, aye. Got it.
Right?
Right.
All right, and now down to Lieutenant Latorette's probationary period complete. Chief?
Yes, he's completed his probationary period and is performing very well as expected. I recommend that we take him off probationary status.
All right, I would tend to agree. Commissioners, motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. Got it.
Aye.
Unanimous. College course approval for Captain Ferenga. Joe, what are you doing? What are you taking?
Almost done.
Yeah. How are the grades?
Yeah,
How
solar
are the
power
grades?
battery, my microphone went out. Yeah, it's just my last class, it's communication class, and then that's it, I'm done. Done and done.
For now, for now.
For now, right, you never finish learning.
You're never done.
Done with this
Right.
program. Call him Dr. Captain Ferenga.
Okay. All those in favor?
Status.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, motion to approve. Captain Ferenga's
Move.
college course approval. Okay, second,
Second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. That's approved. Officer Conley, same thing. What's Officer Conley up to?
It looks like it was a previously approved course that he was taking for his graduate level degree, and for personal reasons, he had to postpone it. So for approval.
Excellent, okay. All those in favor? Or motion to approve? Motion to approve first.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, 3-0. Okay, building renovation and training facility update. Chief, why don't you do, we were at meetings, we got another meeting tomorrow, but you would. I mean, you've seen it the other day, they're tearing it apart in the back and.
They're progressing quite rapidly. They've demolished the old new part of the building in back that's no longer there. It's been demoed. They've gutted the entire building that's remaining and are laying out office spaces now. They're probably starting the framework on the 3rd floor already, and they're going like gangbusters. It is progressing nicely. No major setbacks. They didn't find anything significant as far as asbestos or contaminants or anything like that. A couple of smaller things, you know, a wall on the ground floor is terracotta and they thought was cinder block, but typical things that you would expect to find in an old building.
Right, I think we'll address a lot of that tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
They're coming back with some solutions there. Okay. Any thoughts on that? Anyone? Good. Letters of appreciation.
Yes, I have two, one for Officer Vartuli. Looks like she presented a self-defense class to, I'm not sure what was that? I can't read where that was from. School or the high school.
Okay,
High School.
Yeah.
Did a nice job with that, so that's, see. And I also received an email from a gentleman in town that suffered a, medical emergency, and Officer, or Sergeant Lopez responded
Mhm.
and along with the ambulance corps, took good care of the gentleman and saved his life, so we always love to see that. Get that
awesome.
email from gentleman.
You know, I just note that remarkable, all 911. Sergeant Lopez was there minutes,
Yeah,
3 minutes later.
yeah.
It's pretty,
You know, that's, people don't always, yeah,
Response.
that's the good thing about when we have officers out on the street, you know, they're gonna be the first person there within minutes, long before the ambulance gets there or the fire department gets there, so. Their training
All
is,
first responders.
yeah, first responders, first reactors, a number of
And
terms.
then, you know, and it's great that we have this life-saving equipment with us, the AED.
Yep.
All that's the Narcan and all that sort of equipment that we have readily available to the officers on the road that can be there in minutes when seconds count. So that's great to see.
Great. State of Department. Insight training
That was
bulletin.
a inside training bulletin on the Good Samaritan law. Interesting read.
For your, for your reading pleasures. Okay, any other business? Any other new business? Okay, motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Okay. Second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all on